Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast to the protection against heavy rain and flooding by Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe.
So the big challenge is, how can house owners like you and me get a flood-free home? How can business managers like you and me get a flood-free company? And how can public servants provide flood-free critical infrastructure and livable cities?
Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast by Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe. This podcast is for foresighted and proactive people who do not want to shovel the muddy water out of their room while standing in the midst of the disaster.
Therefore, those who design and plan, the architects and engineers, need to construct such buildings and cities, and that even when the entire environment is completely flooded. That is a challenge, and this podcast will give the answers.
Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast by Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe.
Yes, hello and welcome to another episode of Flood Protection Secrets, and how I want to tackle the problem of how do you deal with people who delay your flood protection project. Some of you might ask, what does it mean, people who delay my project? Perhaps you know that from your situation in your company or even at home. You want to take a decision, you discuss it in a group, and there's always one or two of the participants who immediately raise a hand and come up with objections. Oh, we tried that already long ago. We have tried it already. It didn't work. Oh, I don't think it is successful. That will be very expensive. Always like that. That means these guys never see the solution. They always see the problem. And that is really poison for your project, because what you want to do is you want to protect, and that is the topic of this podcast, protect your building or your a lot, an area, a municipality, a city, whatever it is, critical infrastructure, not to forget, from the danger of floods, of heavy rain and floods. And so you have to hurry up in a way. Yes, I know in one of the previous episodes I was talking about speed and timeline. That was an episode where I compare the price increase with the Titanic and the price for 55 entrances. That is not what I mean. I don't mean that you should forget everything else just to finish your flood protection project as fast as possible. Yes, you should do, but not. You should not pay the price for bad engineering. That is what you should not forget, and that is a pentagon of flood protection with these 5 cornerstones that I have mentioned. Or the collaboration, number 2 is the technology, number 3 is the civil works, number 4 is the timeline, and number 5 is the budget. And if you follow these cornerstones in a way and you start your project, always with your big project, with a project assessment, you're on a safe way. You spend only a little bit money, you invest a little bit money for the project assessment, because of course that is not for free. What do you expect? I always tell the people, what do you expect? If you want to build a house and you go to your architect, you ask the architect for all the plans, and you really believe that the architect will give you all the plans ready for procurement? Never. Perhaps you get a sketch from a previous house, and he will say, oh, it could look like that. But if you want to know more, you must pay me, my dear friend. You must also pay your doctor before the doctor is telling you what kind of disease you have. Perhaps that is what you know already, or he will tell you the disease, but he will only tell you the treatment and the medicaments if you are willing to pay for it. If not, yes, you can go to the Red Cross, but that is not what we are talking about. What do you do finally? You want to find a solution for your flood protection problem at your home, at your business, perhaps in a hotel or in an office or a supermarket, governmental agency, like perhaps the city hall, the presidential palace, or critical infrastructure like a hospital, airport, the tunneling system with all the stations of a metro in the different cities. So the list is endless. Pumping stations, of course, and electricity, and so on and so forth. And then you sit together, and there's always one guy with objections. I will tell you one small story that comes in my mind that was long ago. I was not having my own company yet, and I was an engineer, so experience already, yes. And I was going to one of the biggest or the biggest chemical company in the world, based in Germany, south of Frankfurt, and I was a key account manager for the company, and they this big chemical plant, really I think 7.5 kilometers long and 2.5 kilometers wide, so really huge, with more than 200 factories on it. You probably know it. And my task was to sell distillation columns. These chimneys, they look like chimneys, but it's not a chimney. Distillation columns to separate liquids, by using the different point of evaporation, the different temperatures, and then you can separate liquids. And that is, by the way, how you produce gasoline and diesel from the oil fields. And how you get your cosmetics. Everything goes back to petroleum, by distillation. So anyway, that doesn't play any role. What I want to say is there was a problem. The customer called my company and they said, "Oh, there's a big problem. Your liquid distributor is not working, and the packaging inside these are this kind of honeycomb structures to provide a big, huge surface to separate the liquids from each other. They are not working. It's not well designed, and the quality is bad." Okay, good. So the next day I jumped into my car and I drove the 1.5 hours to reach from Frankfurt to go south to reach the plant, and then we all met in the big building, the Q920. Yeah, I remember very well. All floors looked the same with a gray carpet, but of course I knew very well how it works. And then there was a big meeting room, and so I opened the door, and I saw, I think, approximately 15 people sitting around a O-shape, so a ring-shape table organization in the room. And before I even sat down, and before I had closed the door, I heard from one of the persons, "Dr. Klippe, you're really self-confident that you dare to appear alone for this meeting." That was a greeting and the welcome. And then I said, "Yes, I also wish you a very nice morning." And then some people were laughing already, and also greeting me, of course. But I knew already this guy who said these words, that was one guy who was not really interested to solve the problem and to find a solution. It was more of accusing people and finding somebody who is responsible, charge them in case that was me or my company. And and then I sat down and then I asked, "Okay, please just tell me what is the topic." And then another guy was starting, "Yeah, your product is not working, and the delivery was wrong, and now our whole manufacturing stands still, and that cannot be, and this quality is bad and bad and bad." So he was not stopping, and I was just listening. I was not saying anything. I was not really smiling, but I was not showing any reaction. And then the next came in, and they were wondering because I didn't say anything until one of the people there, they were mostly on the director level and on the level of team leaders, etc. And then one said, okay, perhaps we give Dr. Klippe a chance to answer to all these accusations. And that gave me the chance to answer and to ask my questions. And then I went back to zero and I started to reveal what really happened. Because at the moment, I did not know anything. I only knew something is not working, some distillation column is not running, so they cannot continue with the manufacturing of providing the different liquids. And of course, they face a problem and they accuse me that our installation doesn't work. So then, to keep the story short, I continued to ask the questions and I asked directly the people who were accusing me. Can you please tell me at which day did it happen? And then they had a problem because these guys did not know anything about it. So they asked somebody else. And then one technician who was in the room said, yeah, that was on this, I don't know, April 16 or whatever it was. I don't remember. I even don't remember the year. It must have been in the late 90s or beginning of the zero years. Then what really happened? Yeah, we observed this and that. And then I asked these people who were shouting out loud, so do you have a protocol about that? Oh, no, we don't have a protocol. I said, why don't you have a protocol for your own manufacturing process? You should have one. I think that is following the standards of quality. And that made one other person answer to what I've said and said, yeah, Dr. Klippe is right. Our standards are very high. We should have a protocol. And that at this moment, the whole discussion changed already. The style changed because there were some people who were pity with me because I was accused for something I was not responsible for. And it was not clear what really happened. And I came to help them and not to get punished. And at the end of the day, after a while, one of these people who were delaying the project said, oh, sorry, I already see it's time. It's really late. I have another meeting. I must leave. Okay, number one left. It did not take long and the discussion continued as I described before. And number two of these guys who delayed the project left, followed by number 3 and number 4. And then it came out that one technician said, I think at this day in the afternoon, yes, my colleague already informed me, wait, I think there is a kind of protocol here. We checked the temperature and the pressure. Yes, that was a malfunction because one of our people pushed the wrong button and opened a valve that should not be open. And that is why the whole process was not working anymore. I said, oh, you see? That was a moment the person who delayed the project and the problem solution number 4, this person number 4 left the room as well. Remaining were the people who were really interested to come up with a solution and what to do. Because the problem was clear, the source of the problem was clear, the origin was clear, it was a malfunction by human errors. And it has nothing to do with the quality that my company had delivered. So, but now the question was, how can we clean the installations inside this distillation column? So the liquid distributor and the packaging system and all these kind of things. Yeah, and the liquid collectors and so on, and the pipes. And that is what we discussed, and then we came up with a timeline and with the costs, etc. And at the end of the day, the people were very thankful. And they said, oh, sorry, we apologize that we have accused you. It was very wrong. And please excuse me for the treatment. But, some people are nervous. I said, yeah, no problem. So at the end, we left and we were satisfied that we found a solution. And the message at the end of the day is that you just distribute responsibility. You ask the people to prove what they have said. To show their responsibility. But these people who were just shouting out loud and just accusing me, were not really involved in the process. They were from the middle management somewhere or upper management, but they did not really know what was going on. They were just there to find somebody who they can, to do some finger pointing. Just distribute responsibility or tell some people, please, if you think you can do that, okay, please sign. I give you one more example. That is when people want to reduce the costs and they say, oh, the technical inspection for a flood protection project, that is very expensive. I said, yes, because 2 or 3 people are flying. They come to your place and then they take the photos, they measure it, they inspect it. Yeah, but that is really expensive with all the flights and the hotel, and it takes several days. And can't we do that with some people here from local people? I said, yes, of course, you can do that. Take some local people. They are much cheaper. I said, okay, take them. Yeah, but then the answer of the manager was, but they don't know about flood protection. I said, you see, that is a difference why these people are cheap and we charge you with the value of our service, of our knowledge, because we are experts in what we are doing. And that is why you have to pay me. That is why you pay somebody who is doing a favor for you, whether it is for washing your car, repairing your car, or repairing your refrigerator or aircon, or cutting your hair, or whatever service it is, or your architect who is designing a skyscraper or the house for you, your house for your family perhaps, or for the new building for the company. So you will also pay these people. And way back to the technical inspection, then I always say, oh, you still can do it on your own. You do not need to pay us for the technical inspection that our people fly to you, the flood experts fly to your place and do the inspection. Please sign us a waiver that you take all the responsibility if something is going wrong, and because of the missing technical inspection and the missing audit before the installation starts, we cannot proceed with the installation months later because the site is not prepared well, the foundation is not thick enough, obstacles are not removed. And that is why everything stands still. We fly home again, or we stay in the hotel for 1 week until you have prepared the site. So all these costs will be up to you. If you sign me that you are willing to take all these costs because you don't want to spend the technical inspection, I agree immediately. Do you think that one person ever signed such a waiver? Of course not. They don't want to take the responsibility, because at the end it is completely nonsense what they're talking about, because and I really tell it that strict, so I don't want to offend anybody, but it is really nonsense because it is about responsibility. And if you tell the bus driver, oh, the bus ticket is very expensive, perhaps I can drive the bus on my own, then perhaps somebody will say, okay, but we empty the bus first and you sign me a paper and you give me $1 million deposit and then you are able to... No, of course that will not happen. But it is more or less the same thing if you borrow something to somebody, a drilling machine, a car, a bicycle, whatever it is, an expensive music instrument, and then there is a damage. The question is, who is responsible for the damage? Of course, the person who is using it. So distribute the responsibility to the people, and as I've said, always dig deeper. That is what I have done long ago in my earlier engineering years and at this chemical plant. And at the end, then you can get rid of these people who delay your flood protection project. Yeah, and if you're ready to take the lead in protecting your home from floods, from heavy rain and floods, keep listening and don't hesitate to reach out. Subscribe to the podcast, Flood Protection Secrets, or contact the flood protection experts, the flood experts in their Asian headquarters in the Philippines, or contact me directly. Just Google Andreas Klippe. Stay safe and flood free, and tune in next time for more flood protection insights. I wish and hope for you that you make the right decisions when it comes to your personal flood protection. And if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to this podcast channel if you haven't already. Now it only remains for me to wish you a good day, do something with it. Maybe until the next podcast episode, I would be very happy. See you then. As always, stay safe and flood free. Your Andreas Klippe and the whole Flood Experts team.
That's it again with the new episode of Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast by Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe, German engineer, book author, and head of the Flood Experts. What can Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe protect for you? Anytime? Worldwide? Contact us or just click through to www.thefloodexperts.de/bonus. Detailed engineering, German quality, safe, flood protection secrets, the secrets you'll want to unfold.
Don't forget, you're only one flood barrier away.
Subscribe to the season, and you'll never be late for an episode.